Then once we've collected that information, we'll build a learning plan. And part of that is based on the work that we've already been doing. Jessica and Cheryl and I have already been doing lots of work over the past years. And so what we want to do is make sure that we're grounding it in critical race theory. And so we'll be giving folks some training to make sure that that everyone understands what the language says. In briefly, what critical race theory was developed by lawyers, and what it says is that we understand that race is a social construct, and that the systems that we are working in presently, in education, they were specifically talking about law, but it's the same application, that because the systems were all developed by folks who were white, that that they are inherently a racist in that. And so what I think people get really confused when we talk about racism and often defensive is that they often look at racism based on an individual. So we're not talking here about individual acts of racism, because we may not see that. We may not see that. What we're looking at, though, is how is the system itself, the overarching structures and practices and procedures and policies, racist. And if anyone has heard of Dr. Ibram Kendi, he wrote a book that's based on critical race theory, and it's called How to Be an Anti-Racist. And in the book, he says that policies are never neutral, that nothing is neutral. It is either explicitly anti-racist or it's upholding white supremacy and therefore racist. So it's, I think folks get confused because they think that there's a middle ground of neutrality, and there's not. So that's the language that's going to be part of the plan, making sure folks understand that. We'll be working with the Equity Steering Committee